Hey Andrew, welcome to the show.
Hey, happy to be here. Excited.
I want to know. I'm a big user of Bits today, and like it's like crazy because I have my company to run, and this BigCloud thing came about, and all of a sudden now everyone's jumping on it, and I'm like, I want to learn everything what's going on in the space, but I don't have time. And then I found out about Bits today, and it's so cool because you guys aggregate everything and give, we can a person can just find out what happened every day in like a couple of minutes, right? 5 minutes or whatever. And so it's such a cool idea. And I'm not I'm so when I read it for a couple of days, I was like, man, this is amazing. And I ended up buying the coin just because I'm like, I know this is gonna be a big thing because this is makes sense. Anything that saves time, reduces friction is great. And how did you come up with the idea?
Yeah. Man, how much time do you have? Because I frankly didn't come up with the idea. It's actually the way that this whole thing started is such a cool story, and it just fell into my lap, and I just kind of ran with it. And I didn't know what was going to happen. The team didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, even now, as of today, we're 2 weeks old. So this is all happening so fast and snowballing. So the idea originally came from Arts, Andy Arts, who, if you're on BitClout, you know who he is. If you're not on BitClout, you probably still know who he is. Um, he he's very active on the platform. He's a whale, as they say, and he wrote a post saying, "Hey, I need to move apartments today, so I'm going to be off BitClout for the entire day. If anybody wants to create like a quick like hitting newsletter that updates me on everything that I missed for the day at the end of the day, I'll buy some of the team's coin." And um, I this was 2 weeks ago, and I had already spent 2 weeks just on my own, just wasting way too much time on BitClout and neglecting my real life job.
Yeah.
And I was about to log off and go to lunch or whatever, and I just commented on it, and I said, "Wow, like you never miss with these ideas. That's a great idea." And then he responded with, "So are you volunteering?"
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not going to be like, "No, I'm not going to, take advantage of this opportunity." So I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And then he just jumped in on my coin, so I had no other choice. He jumped in, and then people were watching that thread, right? Um, and it just turned into kind of madness from there. So that's originally how it got started, and um, 2 weeks later, we're really really tired, but we're still cranking.
Yeah, because you guys are creating like, man, you guys are every day, and it's like gold. Like when you go through that, and it's not even that. It's like you're getting all the information in one place. It's the writing style. It's just it's so entertaining to read. It's fun to read, and obviously with the collaboration, like that's a lot of work. Like
Yeah,
um,
yeah. So I guess to if I could just can take another minute to continue this story.
yeah, keep on
I
going. Yeah,
actually don't write them.
yeah,
I probably do the least out of the whole team. So the way that what happened after this is I got hounded with inbound messages of people wanting to help and contribute, and um, so I created a quick Discord server, and had it pointed everyone in that direction. Now, a day or two before, so currently there's a team of four of us. Um, with the exception of one person, Taylor or Drip Colt on BitClout. The other two are completely random. I just met them on BitClout. So Nick or NVO, he's the one that actually writes all the content.
okay,
Um, and I had met him on BitClout. We had an interaction a few days prior where I posted a quote from Naval Ravikant's Twitter, and this random account named NVO commented on it, correcting Naval's grammar. And I said, like, honestly, what a move, right?
yeah.
Correcting Naval's grammar. So I responded to him and I said, "Sounds like you must be a writer or something, you know." And then he laughed, and then so cut back to this me kind of drowning because of this project art, kind of blessed me with, so to speak. I reached out to NVO, and I was like, hey, are you down to be like the official copy editor of whatever this is going to be? And he responded with, LOL, okay, and then that was it. And then from there, he just started cranking these things out, and he just writes them. He has this voice, and I told him to kind of bring more of a casual, a voice similar to my hosting style. Um, in the initial issue, and he kind of ran with it, and he actually hates that writing style, but people seem to like it, so it's been good.
I love that. And what about the other two people? How did they come about?
Yeah,
Taylor and
yeah, so we have Taylor and Nathan. um, Taylor is actually Taylor, who's Drip Colt. People know him as Drip Colt. He's actually one of my best friends, lifelong best friends. We've been friends for 15 years or so, and he's a killer graphic designer. And when this whole thing happened, um, I actually, so I guess to back up, my day job is I do product marketing for
okay.
a technology startup, and um, so I had a feature release I was working on, so I was like super swamped, and so I reached out to Taylor, and I created the Bits Today page or profile, and I reached out to Taylor and I said, hey, I need to put like a logo in this um, for this profile. Can you whip me something up in like 30 seconds? And he's like, yeah, like, what are you thinking? And I said, maybe something like with a globe, because of the global feed. Everyone wants to get on the global feed. But other than that, just like do something that's like Morning Brew style, just like kind of copy their logo or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he sent me one similar to what we have now, which is the globe. But he had like the BitClout symbol, and I told him, I was like, I don't like the BitClout symbol because, or the icon, because I feel like it's tired. Everyone that's creating something
Everyone's
is
using
already
it.
using
Yep.
it.
Yep.
And at this time, if I'm not mistaken, it was either this day or the day after that Reclout was released. I don't think it had been released yet, and I told him, "Hey, we're kind of re-going over everything that happened, so swap it out like with the Reclout symbol." And he's like, "Okay." And then he just sent me like four variations, and I just grabbed the first one without even looking, and put it in. And frankly, that's how all of this has gone. Like the Bits Today name, I spent
Yep.
maybe 30 seconds, thinking about it. All of the titles for the issues, you know, I like the first thing. That's why like some of them are like pretty stupid, because it's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of part of the magic of the whole thing is it's random, um, you know, people that are just I'm just kind of grabbing what's closest and then Frankensteining it all together, and it turns into something special.
But that's what it is, right? It's great. It's authentic, right? When I'm
Yeah,
reading it, I that's why it's so great, because I feel I'm connected to you. It feels like, it's like we're part of a community. I feel like, oh, this is great. I understand what you're talking about, and it feels very like the voice feels very like I am there. I understand. I'm in on the joke kind of thing, right?
yeah,
And
yeah. I think that is that's kind of the interesting part of not only Bits Today but BitClout in
in
general,
general, yeah,
right? I created my account, I don't know, 4 weeks ago or something. The day that most people joined, right? And the people that I started interacting with on day one, um, are like my tight group homies that I'm
yeah,
still interacting with, and a lot of them have really shot up as far as followers and coin price, and um, it's sort of the rising tide lifts all ships philosophy,
yep,
um, because everyone is wanting BitClout to grow and moon, so to speak,
yep,
and so everyone just supports each other and is down to contribute and down for the cause.
yep.
But I wanted to really quickly just bring up um, the fourth member of the team, Nathan.
Nathan, yeah,
Yeah. So what ended up happening is I created this Discord server. And I guess I should preface this by saying, like, I had prior to this, I had never used Discord, believe it or not, and I had no idea what I was doing. I guess I'm an old fart because I was still using Slack, you know. Um, but I was getting a lot of inbound messages from people with, their crypto punk, you know, profile pictures and random usernames
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, can I help? Can I do this? Blah 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 blah." And I was just like, "Sure, yeah, yeah." And Nathan was one of those people, and I was trying to sort of organize the mess and say, okay, these are the topics I think we should talk about in issue one. Can you guys help me figure out some posts we could highlight? And then this person sends me a link, and he said, "Well, I already have this," and it was basically issue one already done in a Google Doc. And I'm like, okay, you're in, right? Um, so I took that, and then I had Nick jump on and just
Yeah.
kind of rewrite it. We swapped out some of the content, put in different posts, um, and then I gave Nathan my phone number, and he kept like calling me, texting me, trying to like get this thing coordinated. And I'm like, look, man, let's talk tomorrow. This thing's just a mess. Um, and then a day or so later, we got on a Zoom call and all met for the first time, and he ended up being super legit. You know, he is very um, heavily into the crypto space, the tech space. Used to work at Google. His has connections and partnerships with people already on the platform. So we just kind of moved him to strategic partnerships, and yeah. So it was just like it's serendipity. It's wild.
That's amazing. And so is all the content like that you are like the research, is it being done like by example by Nathan, or like are everybody's doing research, or is it like the Discord channel where people are contributing? Like how are you getting, because as you said, it's a lot of work, right? So where are
Yeah,
you getting all the information from, I guess?
yeah. The majority of it is from our Discord. Our
Okay.
Discord is pretty active now. We have like 100 members, and
Amazing.
um, from day one, um, what I really felt strongly about is um, it. What I really felt strongly about is making sure that anybody that wants to contribute can, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the way that that this happened by me commenting on something, and tons of other people commented on that same post, and they were all eager to help, and I just wanted to welcome that.
Yep.
I mean, for a number of reasons. Number one, selfishly, it's less work for me and the team if other people are doing it. But number two, that's kind of what the platform already is, right? So the Discord is really active. We have like a hot tips channel where people just post links in a little blurb, and we take it. And then we have some other private channels with some of our longer term contributors, and we just say, hey, whatever you guys want to do, send us some stuff, and if we run it, we'll credit you, and we'll be forever thankful. So that's where the majority of that comes from. But
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's still a ton of work because we have to go sift through it. We have to get all the right context. We have to coordinate as a team. We have to give Nick everything he needs to kind of write about it. Yeah, so uh, that it's been working so far though. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it makes sense, right? Like because it's not that you're not just creating a just like some random blog. You're creating so much like value. You're taking everything that's happening and turning that into a, not even just the content, but like making it engaging and entertaining. And that I can totally see how much work it is. When I read it, I'm like, man, that is. Thank you for doing that. But that I
yeah,
can I can understand how much it takes, and I really like how you are approaching this too, right? Like you brought everyone together, and you're like, even like I was yesterday's issue when I was reading, you got you had Renata VC as a guest person now in there, right? So that's
mhm.
crazy because now you are taking another like person who is well known and you're bringing them in. And similarly, like as it grows, it's awesome because you're learning, you're getting all the best information at one place, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that that's important because I think it's important to have different perspectives. I think that it's important for voices to be heard that want to or need to be heard, um, and I think that it's important that it doesn't turn into what I was concerned about and what I still am. I don't want it to be just a bunch of uh, blue check mark accounts patting each other on the back the whole time, right? So
Yep.
we try to get a mix of smaller accounts that we're mentioning and highlighting, and some verified accounts. Um, and I think that the having the guest contributors, it's a win-win, right?
Yep.
People get their voices heard. Uh, we get to include them. And then it's a great co-marketing opportunity.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I think
That's
the other part of this is where the I'm really big on building this in public.
yep.
I post a lot about just like, hey, here's what we're thinking. What do you guys think? I'll just do it straight on my profile. I mean, the other day, straight in the Discord, I just posted right in the general channel all of our metrics. You know how many views, clicks, reads, all the rates, and me and just some people, some contributors were just kind of jamming on how could we slice and dice this. Um, what is the optimal length for this? To increase readership and
Yep.
yeah. So
I like how
it's
you're making it. I like how you're very data driven and you're approaching it in a very um, like yeah, very like a startup-ish way. I mean, it is a startup in a way, right? You're
yeah,
approaching it in a
yeah,
very startup-ish way where you're like kind of seeing, okay, well, what do my users want? Like, who are they? How much? Like, where do they find value? What can I take, and how can I make it better for them? And having your customers in a way right there with you and making it the best version for themselves. Like that's the best way to build a product.
yeah, yeah. And some things that we have experimented with is um, types of content, length.
Yep.
Our original one, we've been posting them on Medium. They're now on Medium and Substack. Medium, it was purely because I was just trying to get this out, in one day, and that
Yep.
was a platform I was semi familiar with and knew how to navigate. Um, but the first issue was a 4-minute read, um, and it slowly went 5 minutes, 6 minute, all the way up to 9 minutes, and so we were trying to figure out like do people like longer form and focus on one topic, people like short form on many topics or longer form on many topics, and we were trying to figure that out. I don't know, what do you think? What do you like?
I think yesterday's article was amazing. It was shorter as compared to the day before yesterday. I think 11 or 12 was very long, and what
Yeah,
13 was shorter, right? I
yeah,
personally like the shorter because, like, it keeps me engaged, like, different topics, fast paced. Because again, like from as from me at least, you know, I I want to be engaged in the community. I want to know what's going on. I want to kind of grow with it. But at the same time, I'm like, I have my business to run. I only have enough time, and so when I come on, I'm like, what happened? I want to know. And so for
yeah,
me, I want to quickly read in 2 or 3 minutes, and then kind of go and engage for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then kind of do my thing, right? So um, personally, I really enjoyed yesterday's episode because I think all of them, you've been like, I can see that you're testing. I can see that like one of
yeah,
them is more about artists, right? I think it's gonna be different for different people because some people find more value in a certain thing, right? But the way I look at bits today right now is it's a way for me to expand my horizon, right? Like I might not. I was actually listening to your article or your podcast episode with Connor
mm,
yesterday, and there's one thing you said in there which was very cool. You said that you got into this whole crypto blockchain thing pretty later than an average person who's on there, right?
yeah,
Same as myself. Like I got in 2017, 2018, but not for like understanding the space. I just got bought some coins just to diversify.
yeah,
But up until like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I didn't really get in to understand what the hell is really a blockchain or what's the benefits of it and whatnot, right? And so when I was when I'm reading your stuff, like your different perspective, I'm looking at these things. I'm like, whoa, I never would imagine this will actually happen,
Hmm.
but the NFT is a prime example. Up until 2 months ago, I didn't see that coming, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but I'm also understanding that I am not a 17-year-old kid like Sajil, who's born in this computer, like they were born with like not going out and socializing, but like being on the computer all day long, right?
sure.
So
Yeah,
you have to get your ego away and learn from these amazing people who are building these cool stuff. and and
yeah,
and so like when you're posting these different things, whether it's with the example of the person who's building the gold coin thing, like, or the marketplace, or like all these things that you're putting out there, you're like, whoa, yeah, that could happen, that's so cool. And that just
yeah,
gives you a different perspective. So for me, that's how I look at it. I'm like, the potential of what this could become. And I don't think I'm smart enough, educated enough at this point to understand how far this could go. But just getting these different ideas gives me more perspective and gives me more like, wow, this is cool.
yeah,
So I really enjoy that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that. I think that uh, I think about it the same way you do. And I think right now today it's a newsletter, but again, putting on my product marketing hat, right?
Yep.
A
Yep.
lot of my job is market research, user research, competitive analysis, go to market strategy. That's what I do in my day job.
Yep.
And as I'm looking at this, I think the reason that this thing has really gained traction um, is because um, it sort of makes up the difference of what the product currently lacks, right? I would say in the future, our main competition is probably like a trending page, right? Um, like Twitter has, or like an explore page,
Yep.
and that we're kind of filling that void there, right?
I, I,
Um,
I also think that you're kind of like the morning brew and the hustle though too, right? Like it's
yeah,
all out there, but it's like, but time is the most valuable asset.
yeah,
So although the trending page could be the best possible, somebody could create a node and they can make the most amazing algorithm. But still, I would still want something which can be somebody taking it all for me and giving me that piece of, like that's like example would be like I pay for trends with Hustle, which is like
hmm,
$400 a year subscription service, right?
yeah,
Uh, and that's good because I just don't have the time to go and like read about all these new trends that are coming and
yeah,
them doing the work for me. And I think I listened to a podcast with I think it's called My First Million with Sean and what's the other guy's name, Sam Parr and Sean Puri.
sure, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and they talked about how they believe that in the future, like what happened with Hustle, just for tech, would same things will happen with every industry. Like Robinhood right now already is doing Robinhood Snacks. There's I think it's called RobinhoodSnacks.com. So they're already giving that advice for stock market in small
wow,
pieces. Yeah, like right. And Hustle was doing it for like just tech news, right? And Morning
yeah,
Brew. I feel like that's going to happen for every industry. I was legit thinking about doing that because I do advertising, thinking about
yeah,
doing that for Facebook ads because I'm like, like
oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like I don't want to go and listen to 85 different advertisers of what's popping right now. But it'd be cool to just like listen to that one just from like that somebody aggregating that and bringing the most important thing that's needed.
yeah. I mean, I think that from the beginning, I just sort of, uh, I mean, part of it is, um, again, how this thing kind of fell into place very quickly. But I totally and unapologetically leaned into kind of the morning brew, um, um, example.
Yeah.
Um, the first when I created the profile, I think for the first 3 issues or so, the profile bio just said newspaper for arts.
Okay.
Um,
I love
and
that.
he forced me to change it, but I think that there again, it was meant to be funny, but
Yeah.
I think it's more profound than what it seems on the surface, right? The way that I saw it is that's that's really our value proposition, right? Someone like Arts who's um addicted to BitClout like we all are, and losing sleep, but is a very, very busy, successful person in real life,
Yep.
but needs to like put BitClout away during the day. They
Yep.
just want something to just catch back up, and so when they hop back on, they just need a few quick hitting bites. No pun
Yep.
intended.
Yeah.
Um, to get them back up to speed so they could just jump back in. So
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think that we took some um, attempts at long form, and I think that they were good. Issue number 5 was really just a long form interview with Sahil or Sigil,
Yeah.
and I think that was good, and it had great content there. But maybe in the future we focus on just these quick hitting bits, and then we'll do kind of special issues for that sort of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, depending on how big, actually, it's a good question. I'm just curious. How, as of right now, and I know it's going to evolve as it's changing every week. But as of right now, where do you see what do you see the future for Bits today?
yeah, I mean that I get that question
Yeah,
asked a lot, and it's
yeah,
it's really hard to answer. I think that again, the short answer is I don't know. We have
yeah.
a lot of stuff in the works. We're doing. I would say first the interest and support and contribution has been insane.
Yep.
I think that just as an example, we're having um, on Tuesday. We're gonna do like a first test on like a weekly clubhouse. And we're just gonna go over a recap the week of the
Okay.
news that we did. It's normally going to be every Sunday, but because of scheduling conflicts, we're going to do it this Tuesday. And the person that's running and kind of um, taking charge with this is his name is Nigel, and it's Nigel Eccles, and he's the founder of FanDuel, and he's like, hey, let's get this thing started. I'm down to get a clubhouse room set up and do it every week. And he just hopped in. He was just a fan and hopped into the Discord and started jamming. And some of the other team members created a potential podcast ideas channel, and then him and some other people contributors just started talking about it. So this thing, it's it's pretty wild how quick this thing is gaining traction. So um, we're looking to grow quickly. The goal is definitely not to just stay a daily newsletter on
Yep.
Medium.
Yep.
I think we're going to take advantage of this opportunity, but it
Yeah.
could go a number of different directions.
Yeah, I
Um,
like it. You're a marketer. You understand product. I can totally see it growing
yeah,
in 5 different ways right now. I can already see it as the platform would grow, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm also guessing that while you're while you're curating all this information, right? Like your team, you're probably learning everything that's happening. You're learning behind the scenes. You're talking to these amazing people. So that's actually it's actually kind of like educating you in that way where this market is going, right? Like what's happening, and that's great to be on top of because your business, and that kind of gives you more opportunities to build businesses because it kind of shows you know where the gaps are as you're the first one to find it in that way.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I think part of it is we have um, we have so much content and insights and pitches and projects being worked on just coming to us, every day, that we can't help but to pick up on some of it and sort of chew on it and play it out in our heads and see which direction that could potentially lead. Because I mean, that's the beauty of this whole thing. It's there's so many there's so many different ways to use BitClout or a product like BitClout,
Yep.
and there's users for each of them, right? People
Yep.
are really heavy on the investing side or the creating side, or it's just another social platform. It's going to become like an OnlyFans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't quite know where that's going to go,
Yep.
but it's incredible to watch um, each of these buckets, all of the creativity and drive and attempts, so to speak, at creating something from all the users. It's been really cool.
That's cool. As of right now, you have done 13 issues. The 14th one's coming out today, probably. Um, what are the 3 topics that have stood out the most for you? Like three, if you were to 3 sections, your top favorite ones, what would that be?
Like the top favorite sections or the top favorite
As
like.
in like topics, like example could be like example marketplace. Like that one topic was like, whoa, this is fascinating. Just an interesting thing. You're like, wow, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think that one that I really liked was the AMA. It was like issue number 2. It was
Okay.
like ask maybe anything. And I mean, we didn't have any contact with her, and we weren't expecting her to respond. Um, that was just a stupid title I came up with. But the topic was, hey, um, BitClout developers, like there's a lot of things that we don't know or get or understand, and we have no way to find them. So I thought it was really cool for um, to kind of highlight, like, hey, can someone tell us what happens when you block someone that's holding your coin, right?
Yep.
Or a number of different things where it's just there's there's no like technical documentation or how to or frequently asked questions, or a
Yep.
customer support line. So I think that was um, one of my favorite sections. I like the let's see. I don't know. You kind of
I put you on the
I'm
spot here.
trying to
Sorry.
think of which ones we have now. I really like highlighting the projects, the UX drops we call them.
Yep.
Um, that's always fun, as well as highlighting like the features. Uh, One of our most requested um, or most commented on sections or topics is like stats, like highlighting just like daily stats.
Yep.
So we've been working on some cool partnerships with some projects that are going out to get some exclusive stats in there. I think my
Okay.
all-time favorite one, and frankly, this has been um, the hardest thing to do,
Yeah.
but I think it's now finally gaining traction, is our issue covers. Every day we have a custom designed cover,
Yep.
and I thought that that would be a cool idea because really the whole thing is um, highlighting and mentioning and commenting on creators on the platform and linking out to them. And from what I've seen, design is a huge component of of the platform. There's a lot of designers and artists and creatives on there, and they're gaining um, a lots of traction. So I figured, hey, we're going to be mentioning them, but it might be cool to showcase their their art by remixing our issue cover,
Yep.
and I for whatever reason that wasn't getting communicated when I was trying to like get these issue covers. Like I'd reach out to some people and they'd be like, "Oh, like are you going to pay me?" or like or people just weren't into it. And I'm like, "Look, like the last 3 issue covers that were designed, like their coin price tripled
Yeah.
immediately after we
Yeah.
released it." And like what am I missing here? Why do people not want to do it? Um,
Also, like
but
starting out, like you want to be a part of the community. You want to showcase. I think that's the whole. I don't know if people get that or not. At least for me, the whole part of this platform is value. Like if you
yeah,
are valuable and if you provide to the community, your coin price should go up. I.e., you should make more money. It's simple as that because you're worth more
yeah,
money, right?
yeah,
And if you don't provide value, then I don't want to pay for your graphic design because I don't think you're good. If you're good enough, then people should be investing in you. Like that's the whole
right,
point,
yeah,
right? Like it's crazy
yeah,
that people don't still say that, like, well, pay me. Well, no, that's the point of this
yeah.
platform. You should get paid for what you're worth, like what you provide into the community or people in
Exactly,
general.
exactly. And
Yeah,
I mean, we have Taylor, we have a killer designer, right? Like
yeah.
I'm not trying to get free work. I'm trying to say what's like a the idea was what's a more creative way to mention more people. And
How to bring
if
more people in? Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
into
Yeah,
each issue. And we want to highlight artists, but I don't want to spam the thing with just pictures, right? So in this section that we already have, hey, here's a creative way to do it. I think now,
yeah,
it's gaining traction. We have runway, right? We have the next few issues already figured out and designed. So
nice.
that's my favorite, and I'm glad it's finally
Yep.
gaining
Have
traction.
Yep. I love that. Um, what would you, so I want to read this point. I want to get your thoughts on this. So you guys had this in your magazine, which it said, "Where are the new users? Are the wheels falling off this wild westward bound clout wagon?" What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we had some people reached out to me and said, there's a number of theories. I also think that that graph um, may may be misleading. I was connecting with some people. There was some kind of conflicting metrics since publishing that, but the the initial thought that I was actually texting Art and Reed, who's the talent fund.
Mhm.
They're our two largest investors, and we were talking about that specifically, kind of brainstorming ideas. And one one theory is that the founder reward change that kind of correlates with the founder reward change with each new user goes to 100%, starts at 100% founder
Yep.
reward,
Yep.
which would be less of an incentive to like onboard people to bring people on because you can't just like grab their coin before it's launched, which I think that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, that's not the number one reason I'm
Mhm.
telling my friends to get on, so I could scoop up their coin. But the other thing is, it might have an effect on like bots, right? Um, and bots being created and working to get accounts creative because they can't scoop up those coins
Mhm.
early. That's just a couple theories there,
Yeah.
um, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think that it was just kind of a one day. It was on the 20th, right? So I'm curious to wait a week and then see if it
See
picked
what
back up or
how the
see.
numbers kind of. We would have to have a chat about this. We're like, what
Oh,
happened? You know
yeah,
what's
I'm game. We'll do a follow up.
you know what's crazy? I was chatting with I don't know who was chatting with Anton um or was it Sijel? One I don't know who was chatting, but we were chatting about it. We're like, it'd be so cool to do a follow-up episode after 3 months and just look at the predictions we made or things we said and then see what happened. It was just fun to just
Yeah,
talk about that.
yeah,
You
that
know?
would be cool. Do you have any predictions? Like, is there anything that like that you would like stake a flag in the ground that in the future I think that this is what it's going to be?
My assumption at this moment in time, and again, as I said, I'm not as educated in the space, so nobody should take my word for it. But my thought process is that what they did with the 15,000 accounts was genius, right? They created
Mhm.
initial hype, right? And what happened with that is a lot of creators went on and signed up, and all of a sudden now their followers learned about it, right? And it brought people in. A lot of people didn't buy because just kind of like Top Shots or Nifty didn't have a credit card associated, so you need to have Bitcoin to buy, which a lot of people don't have, unfortunately, right? So that kind of slowed
Yeah,
down the progress a little bit there. But my thought process is that a lot of people came on the platform, checked it out, left. Creators don't want to go and like really bullishly talk about it right now because they're scared. It could be a scam. It could be there's no way to take the funds out. What if like they go and talk to their because one thing I've learned, I've been around a lot of creators and they are really careful about their audience because they don't want to say anything that would hurt them because their entire brand is based on it, right.
yeah,
So I think that that's what happened in the start, which is great. It kind of got that hype up and it got enough developers on the platform to build stuff and be excited about it. I think now what's happening is the creators are not going and talking about it as much, so that's why the growth is kind of like been less now as
yeah,
comparatively. But now the developers come in and ideally with BitCloud making it open source and like the password verification, all that stuff, sorry, the identity verification and all that stuff. Now I feel like as there's enough developers and as there's enough hype and VC funding flowing behind the scenes, now I think products can start getting built. And we're missing creator tools right now. There are not enough tools for creators to come on the platform and do anything with the platform yet, right?
yeah,
And as soon as there's creator tools being built, like example, Moonbounce, when you can have the tool where people there's a paywall associated with it, and now people can actually earn rewards by providing some kind of content, like kind of like Patreon, OnlyFans, subscription based model, whatever those tools
yeah,
start getting built as more and more creativity flows. I think then creators will go and tell their fans about it, and all of a sudden could see a crazy uptick. That's kind of my assumption if it plays out that way, if there's enough tools being built. I think enough hype is being created that developers, it's attracted developers. It's creators know back of their mind there's something like this is happening, but there's not enough with the platform that gives them enough tools to go and
Sure.
build something meaningful on top of it. That's kind of
Right.
my assumption as of right now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think that I totally agree. I think it's going to be interesting. Some things that I've thought of is, or thought about rather, and where what I'm interested in seeing is I think that there's a natural fork that's going to happen, and and seeing which direction it goes. Like there's the social side, social media side, and then there's like the investing stock market side, right? And I think that they don't necessarily have to be mutually exclusive, but when this has kind of been hard for me and something that I've thought about it and have been chewing on. Um, it's been weird to me where people have been posting. I'm not saying this is wrong, but
Yeah,
where people post, my top investors get access to this. Uh, get on a Zoom call with me, or I'll do this and that for you. And I'm thinking I would much rather have my top in like get exclusive give if I'm an investor, a real investor, I'd rather give exclusive access to my top investments so I could help them grow rather than my top investors, right?
makes
um
sense. Makes sense.
so it's so looking at this fork, like this um natural um intersection, and seeing which way we're going to go. I see the social side where it's more of a like a Patreon or OnlyFans, where we're calling it like coin and investors, but it's like it's a membership fee or
Yep.
exclusive access fee. It's not an investment, right?
Yep. Yep.
Or in more into the investor side, and I think that the interesting thing there would be um, investing in someone's coin, and how closely that has to correlate or not correlate with what they're actually doing on the platform. For example, if someone is not even active on the platform, but they're making awesome moves in the real world, you buy their coin and the and invest in that based on things that they're doing, not what they're creating or posting, right?
Mm.
Very much like the stock market, right?
Yep.
Based on acquisitions or numbers or what have you. Um, yeah, so I'm curious to see how that plays
How
out.
this plays out. Yeah, those are interesting points. I can totally see the fork happening as well, because I think at some point people are bound to say, no, this is the direction we should take this, or this is the
Yeah,
direction we should take this. That makes total sense to
yeah,
me. I want to quickly ask you some. I want to do this testing, this rapid fire thing, and I want to
sure.
see what's the first thing you would see. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but we'll see how
No,
this
you're
goes.
good.
Three trends that you are seeing right now.
Three trends that I'm seeing on the platform. Um, Memes.
Okay.
I think meme accounts are forever undervalued. I am seeing that we're talking about changes and what this thing's going to become. This thing's like I don't know, like 30 days old or something, and it's already changed so much, right?
Yeah.
Another fairly obvious trend is people are moving um, their investments from like verified accounts like Elon Musk and putting them into to people
Developers
that
and
are
yeah, creating.
active,
Yeah.
right? Um, so that's one, and then two is um, just relevancy of your posts, all meaning um, how closely related it is to what's happening. I mean, an example of this is the nodes, right? Everyone's talking about the nodes and the memes and that sort of thing. So, I mean, those are three, but that last one, I think that I think if that's your strategy, um, at some point, people are going to start talking about things other than BitClout on BitClout. So you got to have a plan on what else you're going to talk about, in the future. So
Makes sense. Yeah. Next question is obviously for anybody listening, this is not financial advice, but three coins that you or three people that you're very bullish on.
Yeah, man. So number one, it's an account called Vaporwave. It's this guy that he was one of the people where the first day I was on, I stumbled upon his profile, and it's just he posts he just posts art and gifs that are very like um, 80s um, synthwave aesthetic, and they're just so killer. And he's got a really tight curated account.
Okay.
So I bought in on him like my first day on just because I was a fan, and yeah, we're pretty tight now. And then number two is the Cloudopoly game. Have you seen that?
Yeah, yeah. With the what's the name?
With
Uh,
Charlie and
with
Olmsted. Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah, no, yeah.
Uh, yeah, those guys are an absolute riot. And uh, they're doing something that's completely original. Like
Okay.
Charlie figured out how to straight up hack BitClout and get everyone to post about him all the time by creating these cards for people. So it's pretty brilliant. So it's going to be exciting to see um, what they're going to do with it. I was actually texting with Charlie last night. That's the other crazy thing about this platform is I've made a lot of like I
Good,
didn't know
smart
Charlie
friends.
before this. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've made a
yeah,
lot of friends doing this.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and okay, and then the third one, oh yeah, so I was texting Charlie at talking about like because him and I both post a lot. He does it a lot more eloquently and does pretty little designs about like what we would want to see on the platform, like feature requests. So we were actually texting about that last night when I was editing the issue, and as we were doing that, this whole open source nodes thing, dropped, and we're like, crazy timing. Um, the third one is actually it's an account. Anyone that follows me, this is not going to be news to you, but it's an account Dirty Milk, and it's my brother in real life, Jordan. But even if it wasn't, I still would be so bullish on it because what he does is he roasts his followers and people that buy his coin.
I love that. Yeah,
So he just like does a few roasts a day, and then they're just like so killer. So yeah,
that's amazing. What about three like companies you're bullish on? Curious.
yeah. Let's see. Uh, BitClout Signal is one. They're doing a lot with on the analytics side, and they're building a lot. We're in close contact with them, and we're following them closely, and we're excited to see where they're going to go. Another one is actually BitClout Offers, I think it is. Um, it's like a classified ads for BitClout. And frankly, all of these, so my side of it is I'm not like I haven't spent a lot of time like on the investing side.
Hmm.
Um, I've the majority of my time I've spent just trying to like figure out the platform, right, and figure
Right.
out what I want to do. So a lot of these that I'm naming off, it's just because the creators are like active in our Discord or like
Yeah.
we've received them,
Yeah.
Um, but the BigClout offers is like classified. He's got a page where here's stuff that people are offering for investors. Here's events that they have coming up, and just one place for it. And then he recently just released another page, which is feature requests. People go in and they write in feature requests they'd like to have on the platform, which is
Cool.
really cool.
That's really cool.
Uh,
I actually want to check that out. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
I'm building tools. Like I just finished our first tool. Should be launching in tomorrow or day after. And so I'm looking at different tools and looking at ideas of what people want and what is in the like should be built. And it's
what
cool to
what
see.
is the tool? What is a tool? Oh, actually,
Uh,
you did that the widget, right?
yeah. So we just did the
Yeah.
widget.
Me and
That's a
Arts were talking about that. 2 days ago because I posted something about.
So no, sorry, no, it wasn't. So the widget that was created by Anton, not me. Uh,
Okay.
Me and Anton had a conversation. Anton is the guy who created BitCloud API and BitCloud Market Cap,
Yeah, yeah,
Market
yeah.
Sets. Yeah, and super smart guy. He's a YC founder. I had a chat with him, and I was kind of telling he created that widget, and right the day, so he was the first guy I interviewed. And the day he created that widget, right the day before that, we had our widget done, like good to
Hmm.
go. And he launched that widget, and I think it was like Jake Udell shared it with like uh, some guy had a blog, and it was on the bottom of the widget, and Jake Udell,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Jake Udell shared it, and I'm like, what is the odds? What an amazing, crazy circumstance that I'm interviewing. The first guy I'm interviewing is creating the same thing I'm creating as the first tool. And,
Yeah.
and you know what's crazy though, and that's kind of the part of this community. And shout out to him. So we had an interview, we chatted. Such a cool dude, right? And we were stuck
Hmm.
on this one problem. My business partner, developer, he was stuck on this one problem. Knowing that we're competition in a way, no
Yeah,
fucks were given. He went out, he
yeah,
helped us, and he's like, "Yeah, let's launch it. Let's build a community together. It's so cool." And I was
yeah.
like, "Man, I love that. Like, it's such a beautiful, positive vibes." And yeah, so first thing we're launching is a widget, but we wanted to make it more aesthetically pleasing because if you're putting it on your website, you want it to look sexy. At least from my
Yeah.
perspective, we're just finished it. We had it coded already. You can check it out. It's called embedcloud.com.
Cool.
But the website was but the design of the widget was pretty like old school. So we just making I was just getting the design better and so it looks slick and sexy. But it should be done by tomorrow, hopefully, and we should launch it. That's like the first tool. We'll just mail for like just to like kind of get it going, get it in the
Yeah,
community. Like I didn't have any high hopes with it. It's more like let's just push it out. Let's have fun with it.
yeah, yeah. No, I think that's killer because I saw it because of I posted something saying I think that there's a great opportunity with making a quick and easy way to purchase creator coins off platform.
Yep.
Um, right? Not BitClout, but actual creator coins, right? So contributors essentially bring the social token to the people rather trying to bring the people to the token. You know,
Agree entirely. And also,
I
I
could put
think. Sorry,
I
go
could
ahead.
put it in my email signature. I could put it on my blog post. I could put it in my Instagram bio or whatever, and people are like, "Oh, here's the price. Click buy. I'll buy more." You know,
Yeah,
um,
I was thinking one step further, like second version of that. What we want to do was once the token is done, next thing could be the widget is done. It could be you can click on it and it shows you the top 5 people, and you can select which people you want to show. So who's actually invested in you? Because for a reference, what better than someone putting real money in, right? Or it could also be clients, right? Somebody you rather than getting a client to pay you. Let's say you do marketing, I do marketing.
yeah,
Rather than getting a client to pay me in what do you call like cash or whatever. What if they bought my coin and now I can show example this particular company, I'm an advertiser, they bought this much of my coin. What does that mean? Why would someone pay that much for somebody's coins? That's like the truest form of uh like what do you call like a reference that you will
yeah,
ever
yeah,
find, right?
yeah. I love
uh
that. It's credibility. That I mean, I think you and I think the same way, right?
I know we're both marketers, so we think
Yeah,
exactly the
yeah,
same way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a post that went like semi-viral a couple weeks back where I talked about like your your credibility on the platform comes from the cap table, from the names of your investors, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the way to grow your account is you post content that increases your investors' credibility by being your investors, and you invest in coins that are doing the same, right?
Yep.
It's a cycle. So I love that. It's like you don't have to um, if you know trustworthy, credible people, and you see that they're invested in a creator's coin,
Yep.
um, that is that is enough information for you to know who they are.
Trust them. Yeah, exactly. And then we were thinking that was kind of a people's perspective. Then we were thinking from a business perspective. Like think about newspapers, like in the real world, right? Like they are. It's just so hard, like even digital newspaper to make money, right? So all of a sudden they can have their coin right there. Same thing. Like it's like a
Yeah,
bypass thing, but you can buy right from their thing. It's a subscription based model to support them in the moment, right? Right from their website rather than trying to go to a subscription page and find it. Our goal was with the widget was like kind of like like how you see on our screen here this chat icon sits on there on the right,
yeah,
right? Similarly, the widget just sitting on every page on the right, like, hey, buy my coin, or hey, check information about me, check stats about me. Like everything you want to present can be presented in that one small button there, which I think
Yeah.
is could be really cool.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that. I mean, I love that idea. And I saw someone sent me a screenshot of either this widget or one similar.
I think
I
it's the one. I think it's the one Anton created. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, shoot it to me. We'll obviously put it in the issue,
I love it.
I don't know if we can embed it in Medium. We totally will. But once we get our website up and running, we're gonna
I'll
put
ask
it
my
on. I love that.
I'll ask my business partner, but he said you can embed it in WordPress, Shopify, ClickFunnels, and all those. So hopefully Medium too. So
Cool,
we'll see.
cool.
Yeah, we
Love
should
that.
be done pretty soon. But thank you. That was amazing episode, man. I learned so much from you, and it was just absolutely great chatting with you.
Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, I loved it. This is all new to me, like it is with everyone. So it's cool to kind of um, to sit with some like minds and kind of chop it up and dissect this thing. So I enjoyed it as well. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, most welcome. And I also think that the reason I like it is because and because I think you would understand my perspective because we're both marketers. But a lot of people in the crypto space are so smart, but it's like you don't know who they are at a human level, you
Yeah,
know. And just like chatting with you, like and like connecting with you, I just get so much your vibe, like who you are as a human being, and I can see you as a person, and just build so much trust in the community. You make new friends, and it just feels more of like a real thing than just like this crazy game that we're playing. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I really think there's something special here with this platform and the community. Haven't seen. I mean, I've had like one negative interaction this entire time. Right? Someone was critical about what we mentioned in one of our issues. And I said, thanks for the feedback. And I bought some of their coin. And they said, you know what? I was actually wrong. And that was cool. But yeah, I think there's something special here. And I think there's going to be a lot of cool offline events and opportunities and stuff. Um, and we're going to be able to kind of jam in person
Love that.
and yeah, it'll be cool.